So again, we're short there at 97. And let's see if we can crack them down to 91. It's a swing trade. We got to get them down under this key orange line here at 94.50, which is right at that number I talked about earlier. If we can break 94.50 and then crack 93 and hold in general that pressure under 93.50 to 93, odds are very good that they can slide 2 points lower on a little bit of panic selling and knock them down to 91, which is going to be the goal of this trade, because from 91, 250 to 91, under that, I honestly don't. The only projection under that would be a squash all the way back down to 84, which could happen, but I I don't know. 91 I can project, but under that I don't know. It just comes down to, will the riggers let them go? Will the riggers let a new sell pattern form and start pressuring the market back down to at least 90, 91? That's a big question now, and I think the odds favor that they will do that. So let's give it a chance. Watching for 350 lower to break, and then cracking 350. We got to watch 275 to 250. And if we get into a genuine sell down type pattern without these goofy riggers, they're coming back in now, repropping the thing back up. If they can break that 92.75, then odds are good they'll take them down to 91 even. And if we get down there, I'll probably do my thing, in the live moment of saying, if they crack this price on a fast hard dip from here, that type of stuff, which I often do, because right when I got live prices in front of me, I can determine more what we should do based on the indicators. But for now, projecting 91 on a swing trade. Got to get rid of 93 here. Well, first we got to get rid of 94 quarter. We got to press that market under 94 and hold it under 94. That's the key number. 94, and then hold that price under 94. That's going to cause some selling pressure. Now, they did it earlier. You remember this. That was a heavy spike. So the sellers are there. Whether they got the guts to come back in and not be pushed around by the riggers, that's what remains to be seen here. We're getting a little bit of resistance here, or support, I should say. Still watching for 4 to crack. May not happen. They may try to redo the 97 routine and run them back up to that last high. It's still possible. We'll be ready. Even if we have to get out at even or a slight loss. I mean, this is futures trading. I mean, no guts, no glory. And if you don't get into the trade, you're never going to make a win. And if you get into the trade and it's not a win, then you have to take a loss or a break even. So what can you do, Let's just see if our analysis is right. They can crack 94 now. Get that price under 94. And hold them down. Hold them down under 94 and send them packing under 94 down to 275. 275 under 94. And hopefully, if that happens, and it's a big if, $275 will get some kind of pile on selling juice that'll knock them down to 91 for us. But right now, We got riggers that are really anxious to keep this market propped up here. Got that Dow up 94. I don't want to sit here all day if they can't pretty much decisively crack 94 and knock the thing down lower. Then we have to face that, maybe they're gonna try to reprop the upside again. But for now, let's give it a shot. The pressure should be on breaking 94 for a move down to 91 to 92. What's the big deal? I don't know. It's just a ramped up, rigged up market here today on the bullish side. But in all fairness, the charting pattern and everything is still leaning on the support side. I'm just, at some point, support turns into, they turn it around. So that's what I'm kind of watching for now. We got all the signs that this could be a key turning point breaking under 94. So we're just trying to hold for this swing trade type of move here. Now, by the way, well, 91 to 97, that's 6 points. Pretty much you should hold everything for that. 92 maybe. You don't have to take partial on this one. It's either going to work out or we just get out. But if they can crack 94 here and get some semblance of a pressure move under 94, the odds strongly favor a move down to that 90 to 92 zone. So no need to take partial off on anything. I mean, of course, unless you want to, but kind of a stalled market here now. So it's, again, um, with the elections and the tension of that, the war stuff going on in Syria, being covered up primarily by the news media here in the U.S. Around the world, they're talking about all these giant warships moving out into the ocean and all kinds of stuff. Big posturing going on, but it's kind of being played down like we're doing all this stuff to win in against ISIS. Conveniently, right in time for the election, they try to. Oh boy, let's see what happens here. Still looking for them to break down, but we may end up having to get out of this trade, even at a break even or slight loss. Just have to face that. They're not really letting the thing crack under 94 here. And prices are stalling. I still think it can happen. Let's see if they just blast them under 94 here and hold that thing down in there. Not just dip down to 94 like they're doing now, but really blast it. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Blast it. There's that 375. I mentioned 350, but I want to see 350 get blasted and watch for, okay, trading under 350. Watch for a hard dive to 92 on an even print at 92, maybe 92 quarter for a possible exit. We're looking for 91, so giving up a point here or there is not a big deal. 91 is an estimate, a good estimate, I think. But if for any reason they crack 350, we got 375 in the last low. If they crack 375, 350, and we get a selling pylon that nails that price, hammers it down to 92 or definitely lower, then we're going to just go ahead and cover up the short. But for right now, just hold short, because if they slow grind them lower, there's 93.50 coming in, 2.25. Watch for a selling pylon that takes that price and hammers it down under 92. If we get a hard fast dip under 92, we're going to go ahead and cover the short. So far, it's all working our way. We want 275, but remember that 275 number I gave you? That was a key number. And so far, they're kind of catching a little support there. And I hate to lose any points in the trade, but all I can tell you is the thing has a date with 91, and we're just trying to work it on that base. They went 92.75, which is the number I gave you, and we can see it's right at the key trigger point here, which are this filter that I use, 93. Is kind of they're kind of hanging them up there a little bit here. So what can we do? Just do our best analysis. They really should have a date down there with 91. There is a shift coming in here that's trying to drive the prices lower, but 275 in hindsight, a number I had called out a short while ago, is exactly where they went to, and now they're catching support. So, we might get disappointed here. They might ramp them all the way back up to 97, and we have to face that music. But let's see if for now they can dip them back down. Same old routine, back to 93 or lower, cracking 93 on a hard dive down to 92 or lower. We will cover up the short, but if we get a slow grind lower back down to 93.50 or lower here, odds are they're going to dip it down to 91, 92. So let's see if they can crack it again, crack 93, 92.75, and hit them again with some sell-off. We're slowly shifting to, I believe, a sell-down shift here. And this is where it gets a little creepy, because the riggers might get a little bit of a case of what I call sour grapes, that their little propped up market is selling off. And a lot of times when they get that case of sour grapes, they just take this price area here, this 4 to 5, and they just ramp it up to 98, to that old high, to jam out all these shorts, stop them out, which would be us. And of course, we're short at 97, so we have a better deal, but you can see the games being played here. They're just not letting 275 get anywhere. And that was a key number. That was what I had given you earlier. So let's see if they can try it again to blast them under 93. The sell pattern is coming in here. We are getting a formation of an early sell pattern here. Let's see if they can run with it at least down to 92. $84 on the Dow. Keep 91 in there. We'll just do it on a market basis. I think if they break under 275, it could be like a lower low type thing. And but I want to keep that lower number in there, just in case they do sell off. It's starting to turn into a problem here, though. Support problem. We're short, so support is a problem. Let's see if we're trying to give it a little bit more time here to break down, but there are a couple of things that are causing support here. It's the way the mop flops. It's not that I'm so massively committed to the market selling off. We have the market, I believe, has a date with ultimately down to that lower low, that 82 level. And we're watching to see if this sell side can keep the pressure on. And if they can break them back down under 93, probably the smart thing to do would be to watch for a lower low under 275, like down to 2, and look to cover them up there. But the thing is that, well, they are in the early stages of a pattern that suggests the market's going to sell off some. Not a crash, not a big reversal, but um, a downside move. Ah, Jesus. Really challenging today on the NAS. Riggers are really into it here. They're really trying to prop this thing up today from earlier, and then they just keep it going. You can see what we looked at earlier. I mean, it's just a ridiculous ramp up here. And now they're just trying to keep it going when the market really, in normal conditions, would like to sell off from this thing here. But here they go. Now they're just coming in all spiky and goofy and trying to just ramp it all the way back up. And that's part of, the risk we take as futures traders here. I still think it's got lower, but that 275 number that I'd given you, boy, that was the ticket, wasn't it? It's exactly where they went, which is just a small move from our 7 short. So let's see, we can try again and get this thing working lower. They should be willing to work lower here. Maybe that last spike up that somebody spoofed the market and now they're going to hit them. But I sort of doubt it because of the nature of the beast here. But let's see if they can knock them back down under 4 and keep the sell side going a little bit longer. And this is just what the market's handing us today. I could not trade. I could sit here and not trade. But okay, we got a crossover here. I'm trying to keep an eye on crude. We got a crossover here. So any pullback to the Cobra here now is a short at 25. That's just 2 ticks higher. I got to keep my eye on NAS though because I got to watch our position. But I was able to quickly narrate there. Yeah, should be good. 24 to 25 is a short on the crude oil. NAS is just now getting into a real strangeoid whipsaw mood here. We do have a crude short at the Cobra. It went up and hit it here, but the exact crossover has just occurred, so 25 is a short. I got to pay attention to NAS. There's 25 short, so 25 would be 15, and 25 38 stop. Is that right? 25, just 13 ticks, so 25 short, target 15 for 10 ticks. Okay? So if that crude can start to sell off a little bit here, we got the dynamic trend bands crossing, or if that crude can start to sell off, it may just yank the the NAS down lower. They just took a dip down to 4, so we're still short at 7, and I'm now in the middle of watching two markets here, so just crude's a little more automated here. NAS has got more discretion involved. We're still looking for a move down to 91. If they can crack 275, we could get a hard dip down to 91. I'm trying to hold for that to see if that could end up being the result. Now on NAS here, we should be okay with the crossover of the dynamic trend bands, but watch out for, if for some reason there's a counter buy arrow or they start getting too full of whipsaw here. Otherwise, we're looking for a dip down to 15 for a 10 tick gain from the 25 short level at this orange line here. Okay, so let's see if we can break down 275 and get a dive down on both crude and the U.S. stock indexes down under 275, knocking them down to 91. I think it's okay to hold here. I think we're like I said, we're kind of starting a new sell pattern, at least a temporary sell bias. So let's see if we can get, like I said, I'm looking at two screens. Where is the 25? Oh, what is that? 25, 38. I already got that up there. Okay. That's our stop. Okay, watching to see if they can crack 275 now. Watching out here. 275 cracking for a lower low, 250, 250. Still watching for a little selling pressure to come in here and knock them down to 92 or lower. Stay ready to jump out anytime. Dip down under 92. If we get a 91 half print, let's go ahead and exit. You can move your limit there to 91 half if you want, but I'm just got to watch these lower low moves here that they continue to move lower, lower, lower. So we got 91 on our radar, but watch out here. We got to be a little bit careful. Let's see if we can knock them down to 91 half print or lower to exit. If you want to put a limit at 91 half, there's no problem there. I'm just looking for a dip under 2 to cover them up. So the idea is that they go down and they tap 91 half. That could help our case for that dip to 91, which I still think is in the cards. But again, these lower lows bother me because they just kind of tap them and just kind of slightly move lower, but they're not selling off. You know what I mean? We're getting a sell off from our entry, but they're not selling off with real conviction here. So, in fact, I'll go ahead and officially move to 150. Our limit to exit at 150 rather than 1. We're going to move it up to 150. Let's see if we can crack it out here. There goes that crude oil trying to take off down to our 15 target. Let's see if that crude can sell off a little bit down to, again, remember 15 to 17, 8 to 10 ticks, but try to hold for 10. But in general, we're looking for 8 to 10 ticks. I still think this is a good deal, but we just have to be a little bit careful. Let's see if we can get these things to both sell off a little better here for us. Knock them down to 150. We got 2/4 on the low, and as they make these dibble dabble little lower lows, that's when the case of sour grapes by the riggers heats up, and they don't want to see them get lower low, so they can tend to come in and prop them sometimes. We're still looking for 350 to crack down to 150. We've moved our limit up to 150. So we just need a slightly lower low than that 2 1/4, and I sure hope we get it. You can see, did we ever get we didn't get our 15, we got 18, we never got 17, we got 20 coming in here. Let's see if we can crack them down a little bit lower on both of these shorts we're in right now. I think they're both going to happen, but I'm still nervous on this because of this upside rigging. They may try to, push everything out. Okay, watching for 2 to break for 150 here. Just watching for a dip under 2 to break to 150. 2 to break to 150. Watch for 275, 2/4 to break down. 2/4 to break down, give us a new lower low, ideally at 150. That's what I'm rather hoping. 18 on the crude. We're looking for 15 to 17. Probably hit the 15, not a problem. Let's see if we can break down. Doggone it. Tricky markets here today. Tricky markets trying to get that NAS to break down a little bit lower under 2. Should be in the cards. Everything's rolling that way for a slow grind lower. So we're just looking for it. Here's 17 coming in. So you now got 8 ticks on that crude oil deal. Let's see if we can get them down to 15. Watching for a break here. Let's see if we can get that crude or NAS to break down lower. Watching for crude. Crude, you can be out with 8 ticks. That's no problem. 8 to 10 is the rule. But let's see if we can get NAS to break a little lower, hopefully under 2, and give us that 150 action. We're kind of rolling into sort of a pressure move here on the sell side. And I don't want to be too late, and I don't want to miss it. Yet, I think that's where they're going, but they are slow grinding it, aren't they? They are slow grinding it. Anyway, you got 8 ticks on the crude oil. Some of these trades, you have to just be willing to grab that $80 bill instead of the $100 bill. It's only 2 ticks. And I think it's kind of correlating, the crude is correlating with the way this NAS is acting, like this slow grind lower. They're not really just selling off in a smooth liquid kind of flow, but it's more of a, you know, kind of a grindy move. I think crude's going to happen down there at 15. That's our 10 tick target. We've hit 8, but I think I still think it's going to happen. I think also NAS, but they're just grinding into slowly into a downside pattern here. And like I said, the riggers are getting a case of sour grapes, and that always bothers me because I think, uh-oh, when they might try to stage some kind of ramp up. Well, that's part of trading. It's just what you got to do to sometimes be successful. You got to wait, like we're doing now. I still think 150's in the cards here. That last low, 2.25. Just couldn't give us 150, but that's okay. Let's try again here. So we're watching for crude to go to 15. There's crude at 17 and 16 on the print. And again, still looking for a couple ticks lower on the crude here. Feeling a little pressure now. Let's see if we can knock them down to 15 for our 10 ticks on the crude. If not, you got 8 ticks. That's good. And let's see if we can break this NAS down a little bit more here. My head's like twisting and turning. Like looking at one chart that's on a different screen and another that's on our main screen here. Again, watching for 15 on the crude. I think it's in the cards. I'm still watching for NAS to break under 2 and give us that 150. There's 16. How do you like that? Got 16. You can take 16 if you want. 275. Crack it. 2/4 crack, and let's see if we can get him here. Let's get that 150 under 2. Smacking him under 2/4 to 150. It's a little bit of work here today, but I think it's good. It's good job. Good training for us for the future. Every day in the markets is good training for us. All right, there's 15 on the crude oil, and we're just watching for a crack of 2.25 here Just a little more downside pressure here for 150. Let's go ahead and let this NAS go at 250 or lower here. Let's go ahead and exit at 250 or lower. There's 175, right as I said 250. There's 175, 150 hitting our exact target, and we got crude under the trading under the 15. So Mason got 92 on the NAS. Right when I said to cover them, I said 250 or lower. They smashed them right down to 175, held there 92 by 175, and then they hit 150. And there's that crude oil taken off. So mission accomplished on both those trades. Plus 5 points on the NAS, and you also simultaneously saw this live crude trade that I monitored here. So that was a good deal.